My name is Sandra Monroe Clark and I'm from the Flankers Peace and Justice Center. With me is Alicia Spence, she's also from the Flankers Peace and Justice Center. Our expectations today is to network with other groups and also to learn tools in alleviating the stigma on HIV and AIDS.
Well, my name is Winston Hines from Montego Bay, from the St. James Parish AIDS Association. And my expectation is to be educated, to be more informed on HIV and AIDS prevention and tips to live a healthy lifestyle for those who are so infected and be able to help others.
Hi, my name is Renee Level and I'm from Rife Life Management Services. And my expectation today in this meeting is to learn new knowledge and to basically build a network communication. And the information that I get today, I can communicate with other persons.
Okay, hi, I'm Carla, Bingham Register from the Western Regional Parish AIDS Association, and at this foray, I am the Civil Society Chair for Civil Society Forum of Jamaica on HIV and AIDS. And for this meeting, for the way forward, I am expecting that we will meet our targets, talk to our citizens and get their buy-in into what we have to do, and also get their support on the way forward and get their ideas of what we think should be happening through the Civil Society Forum and how we should be positioning ourselves for the way forward. So that is simply my expectations for today.
My name is Yvonne Macala-Somas. My organization is Human Rights Body Families Against State Terrorism, called FAST. And what I want from the meeting today, what I want from the meeting is what I have not been getting from a lot of meetings. In fact, I really feel as if I am meetinged out because so often there's lots of talk, promises, profiling in meetings, and then the action is short afterwards. And unless we can get to the action, being in a meeting it does very little than just indulge our desire to be seen, heard, chat, network. We need action.
Claudia Johnson.
Good morning, I'm Princess Brown.
And we are from the Ocharias Jamaica AIDS Support for Life. And for me, my expectation from the meeting this morning is to come out with a broader mind.
My expectation for the meeting today is to come out with more understanding of what is going on and great expectation that something will come out of this meeting.
I'm Sister Helen Kisono, Assumption Sister of Washington Catholic Diocese of Mandeville. I'm new in the program. I just took over from another sister who was here. I'm also new in the island, so I want to know more about what happens with the HIV and AIDS, what goes on with the groups and the society.
I'm from Jamaica AIDS Support for Life. I'm the chairman of the board and the acting executive director at the moment. And basically what I'm looking for is the ways in which we can work together without duplicating what other people are doing in the field. And that's basically it. I'm hoping that this conference will provide answers to that.
We are pleased to have you here with us, and we hope this will be a meaningful meeting.
Just for those of us who are joining us today, 2008 was really the point at which we woke up basically as civil society organizations who have been working in the HIV response. Prior to that, we tended to be very reactive, we were very passive, we took everything that came to us and we really didn't go out and try to make things better for ourselves and for the persons who we worked with. And in 2008, after trying to really get a hold of the response, there are things happening, and we realized that we really needed to step it out and move.
I think, and other people think so, that the board had crossed the line. And so the public agitation had to stop while other things are pursued. So that's the matter right now. But the short of the long story is, we have a board that, in my estimation, I say it here and I'll say it elsewhere, has no concern about the service users. I am not sure what it is concerned about, but I can tell you that staff and clients are not on the agenda of this board, and if it is at the bottom.
What I want to share with you is what has happened in E4Life as a young NGO, and why we believe that our advocacy has been so successful. And it starts with the work that you do behind the scene before you hit the streets. If the Civil Society Forum is to continue as an advocacy organization, I think there are some basic things that we need to do and to appreciate about advocacy. So that's what I want to share and to use this as a platform for going forward. This is one of our campaigns that we have. In E4Life, we work with young HIV positive teen women. We also work with a cohort of teen mothers who are, let me say, don't know their status. And these are women that we work with the Women's Center of Jamaica. And out of the work that we do in terms of capacity building and empowerment, a component of it for us is advocacy. Advocacy for self and advocacy for the cause.
In our model, because we don't think that this contributes significantly to the Jamaican epidemic either. We already have a lot of IV drug use. People who are infected by IV drug use usually got it in foreign and come back. Blood transfusions, we have 100% screening of blood, so that's not really an issue here either. Nothing's been documented as far as I know since the screening has come on board. Medical injections in terms of as accidental needle sticks at the hospital, no real reported cases of that. The data that we need is the population size. So how many MSM are there, how many sex workers are there, etc., etc. We need what is the transmission probability, because it's not the same probability between a man and a woman and a man, and a man and a man. They're all different.
The media was used and the response that was received from Line. Because I, not being one of those who walk with blackberry and strawberry, I didn't see the call to sign this petition until it was about the second day. And when I saw the call, I said, oh my God, this has been floating since, I think Tuesday it must have hit. And when it hit, what happened, it came to the women's organizations, and then the women's network organizations also had started a petition. So I saw petitions coming from every direction. I think I saw something from Ian, get on this petition. So the women's group said, get on this petition, and then it was somewhere across from Europe, somebody else sent it to me saying, what is happening in Jamaica? What is going on? So what it demonstrated was the power of the media when you start to use the social media and the internet. Technology today is wonderful when we use it correctly. And it shows when we unify behind an issue in that manner that we can have an impact.
We went to a club in Lidston on the 3rd of this month. And while we were there, I was doing pre-counseling and Claudette was doing demo and introduction to HIV. And while we were there, this young lady went to her first, and then she came to me. And I was noting that she looked pretty young, but it's not for me to judge. So when I asked her age, she said 50. I said, when are you 50? She told me, I said, you're not 50. So there's a part that you asked, have you ever been abused? She said, what do you mean? She said, no, I don't know about that. I said, where? She said, no, I never get raped yet, but then people hold me down and take me. I'm like, it go from here.
Everybody should be held responsible, but one of the issues we have, one of the issues we have is that, for instance, I had a child that came in to me. She ran away from home and she was pregnant. So we went in search of her and we found her. She said, I will go home with a little something, but not my mother. She said, I said, why? I only worth $20,000 to her. How do you perceive that? Okay. The neighbor who is 40 raped me and got me pregnant. The man gave her $20,000 and she put away the kids. So to the child's mind, he's only worth $20,000 in her mother's eye. And these are some of the reasons why it continues. Mother decides to quarrel with the man and settle it and take her money and not go no further. Jamie goes to them, get
access for minors to contraceptive services so that they can prevent STIs and pregnancies. The other one is...
But the thing is now, why should I give the minors the contraceptive when I really should be giving them a whip for having sex?
But even if you give them a whip, they're still going to be having sex, so why not educate them so at least they will have responsible sex?
So we're saying then that, as is key, you know, I'm actually teaching this stuff. The discussion around access for minors to have family planning information and tools is not for the minor who's abstaining. You keep mixing them up. There are some minors who are involved in sexual behavior. That minor needs to be able to give them the education and the tools to support them and strengthen them.
Because what if this person is accessing my child who is abstaining, introducing her to it? That can cause a problem.
What's the problem cause?
Because then the child can become sexually active too. And you not knowing that she's sexually active cannot give her, make her access the drug down the proper.
But when you find out that she's sexually active, would you give her family planning?
Yes.
So the thing is, what Sen is saying is that there is a group of young people that she works with that need to access by virtue of their situation, whether they are forced, unforced, or coerced, family planning information and tools to make sure that they provide them with some security. That's what she's saying.
Yes.
With me?
Yes.
So there is that group there, not true?
Yes.
Good. Well, you were able to capture that? I never go see how that makes up in the discussion. Yes.
And how that go with the law.
Exactly.
That illegal behavior can't help it.
That's right. No, but so it's a controversial thing in our society, right? Because you're right. It's like the sex worker. You're not supposed to give them no kind of money work, the police will knock you. But the minute should be yes. Alright, that's another story for another time.
That absent from our individual programmatic responses as members of civil society is a strategic plan reflecting, an effort to routinely sensitize policymakers and politicians about the different legislative changes that need to occur in order for us to really and pragmatically reverse the problem of HIV in Jamaica.
Alright, all of that fancy big word says, translating. What I'm hearing you say is that this forum needs to strengthen each individual organization to have an advocacy plan.
No. And so it's not just grassroots advocacy, but policy advocacy.
No, but that's advocacy. In other words, everybody here have a target working with, okay? And the organization in their mandatory structure must have a plan how they're going to influence
No, that's not what she's saying.
No?
She's saying this is a society forum.
I didn't ask you to speak, miss. That's not good enough. It's my boss. The one time you tell my boss. Go ahead, man.
Essentially, what she's promoting is a policy dialogue, or policy framework or plan in place for the civil society forum.
No, she wants for the individual organizations.
No, that's for the forum.
Okay.
Forum. So there are legislations that you may want to put on the ballot. You need to go out and speak to various persons about. And the advocacy plan would come in there. But what she wants is that you have a list of legislation or policies or whatever where we say, okay, in March this is what we're going to focus on. We're going to meet with minister, whatever. We're going to meet
that's why she's the boss.
She's going to meet with some UN people. She's going to meet with UN people, whatever. They're going to go to the media and make a big splash about.
Good. All right. So you got all of that. Everything she says is correct.
Right.
So okay, here's it now, guys. I think that the central themes have been captured. We have a scribe who will, of course, give it back to us. But what I'm hearing is that we have about 4 key themes that we can look at. We are about treatment and care. We are about the prevention component of the messaging, and we hear about the women and girls are found very strong in terms of the care and protection for the young child in our country, right? And so we will put them together. The group will, the committees when they meet again, will look at them, order them, communicate them. Thank you very much for embracing and tolerating me. Osha, we'll talk after lunch.
There are 2 things I want to say before we break forward. One is that a lot of the times these meetings give ideas, but it requires legs and arms to move them off the table into reality. And unfortunately, what has happened to us in the past is that a lot of it has come down on a few people to move. And sometimes when we even say to you, listen guys, come out and stand with us, sign a petition, it's like flogging a dead horse. So in as much as you have been very vocal and supportive about this advocacy agenda, we expect the same strength and energy from you when we come alive. Or else, as has been said several times today, we are going to be left behind. As civil society organizations, we are going to be left behind. Our voices won't be heard. So during lunch, I'm asking you to think about, and some people are here from different agencies, what are we prepared to give and do to make this become reality and not just be talk? Please give some serious thought to this. I know you want to enjoy your lunch, but it must be a working lunch. The understanding is that now we will put in place a group of persons who will move it to the next level. That requires us voting for 2 chairs. And remember that these are not persons, but these are organizations. 2 chairs. Somebody who will take on the secretarial role, and the secretarial role is not just about minutes taking, it's about enabling the documentation for the organization. And somebody to manage the treasurer role, you know, what money is coming, when they come, how do we report on them? And then an entity that's going to manage what we're calling the public relations. Joy and the others who reported spoke about the advocacy, about mobilizing the media, about doing that work. That takes some specialist effort. As we move forward, I'm going to be the director of elections, right? But what we want, guys, is we don't want to go back down the same road we went down years ago.
We're very, everybody here is an extremely busy agency with hundreds of things to do. And we talked about some of us taking and making and you getting very passionate about issues, and then somebody has to take it. We do understand and appreciate that you may be a little bit wanting to focus on other things, but if you really decide that you want to do something, we will support you in making it easier. There are others of us who can help, and we will promise to support you in making it an easier task. You're not going to be thrown out there on your own. We need to succeed, and we can't do this without you. So could we please rethink our declining?
Yeah, that's the point I want.
Western Region Parish
Parish
for PR. Nominated by Women for Women, seconded by Stand Up Jamaica, agreed by Carla, who heads that entity. Nomination. Nominating Stand Up Jamaica is Police Youth Club, seconded by, what's your entity? Clarendon Peace and Justice. Accepted.
Wow.
Nominated by Red Cross and seconded by, who had seconded again? Partners. Women. Alright. With that, I'm going to close the nomination list. Right? So, as our international scrutineers give out the ballots, it is Western Region Parish Aids Committee, headed by Carla Bingham. Stand Up Jamaica, represented here today by Patrick Layla, and Panos, represented here by Dawn Marie.
So we put one name on it.
Anything more, right? There are some people in here who sit on what we call the CCM, which is the local board of the global. And so we need to send a very clear message to those people about how to make representation at the global fund level. So you already been bounced up. I'm going to say two things. One is that the global fund, for those who don't know, is a fund that gets money from big donors, big countries, and individuals to fund HIV work. So it is really the single strongest source of funding for HIV work in the world. The Global Fund came out of civil society organizations. The civil society organizations lobbying for this fund to be set up. And so the way to set up is how we lobby for it. So for example, the CCM, Carly is sitting down there, and she's really the actor. And she's the actor. We said, no, we have to have a voice in it. We can't plan and know anything about it. And so at the planning level, people living with HIV, sex workers, men who have sex with men, and different organizations, human rights organizations are part. Now within recent times, the Global Fund has had to cut back money. Why? Anybody can tell me? Somebody said recession. Where what?
We're not effective reaching the money
again. So some of the money has had to be cut back, right? In addition to that, Jamaica has been reclassified. Right? So when people look at us, they say we don't look as poor as the other people there. And all of them have so much Mercedes Benz that one really couldn't go on to one shop. So there are some challenges there. As that persists, we see a high, extraordinarily high rate of infection among some populations. Right? So you're pulling the aid, but among some populations, HIV is increasing. We saw that this month. And so what we have to say is, alright, that might be so, but guess what? The burden of the disease is so heavily rooted in this region that we have to something better has to be done. So in recent times, the Global Fund has changed some of its, how it operates. And the Global Fund says, here what, we want to be more efficient, we want to cut down the time for the money to reach from us to you, right? So we want to cut down the time when you apply, we read it, and send the money to you. That's the idea. We want to be more efficient. The Global Fund knows that in some countries people have taken Global Fund money to buy their own house, and car, and airline. So they want to make sure that when the money comes, it really is doing what it says it's supposed to be doing. In our side of the world, the majority of the money that you get goes into what? Goes into what? Treatment. Or persons living with HIV. The reason we are able to afford medication is that bulk of our money goes into treatment, making sure that the medication is available and making sure that some of the other attendant things are there. We can't lose that, can we? No. Because if we lose that, it means that people are going to be dying like we used to see them dying 5-10 years ago. Some people weren't around. Some people weren't involved in HIV work in those days, guys. But we have people dying every day. Now you, 2 and 3 people. We're going to funeral every week. Yeah? That was how it looked. We can't go back. And so part of what our advocacy has to be is we have to keep this going. Plus it's now immoral to say, you know, I was giving you a tablet and then all of a sudden you can't do anymore. Right? It's injustice to the system. So I'm going to put this by saying that all of us have to be aware of the advocacy that we need to be doing around the global fund. There are some petitions online. Go online and sign it, guys. And when you sign it, say something. Say something. Don't just write your name. Just usually at this, just say something. All right. Travel safely, colleagues. Please get home. Bless you all.
My name is Dane Lewis. I'm the Executive Director of JFLAG, that's the Jamaica Forum for Lesbians, All Sexuals and Gays. We are a LGBT advocacy and social support initiative. JFLAG is very pleased to be nominated Treasurer for the Civil Society Coalition. And this comes at a time when we certainly in-house have the capacity to serve civil society and support the accounting needs of a few other organizations with having someone doing finance in-house. We're very pleased also to be on the executive, not just named treasurer, but to be on the executive to begin to serve the wider civil society in a more concrete way and add our voice to the very many issues that face us.
Nikisha Lewis, Policy Development Officer for JFLAG. It was very good to see so many members of civil society coming out to exhibit their commitment towards ensuring that the programming around HIV and AIDS in Jamaica is being well developed and executed. In terms of my expectation of the event, I think the only thing that fell short of my expectation would be too little prominence around the issue of homophobia and its impact on the prevalence of HIV within the MSM community. I would have loved to see that particular issue garnering more prominence on the advocacy agenda of the Civil Society Forum meeting yesterday.
Okay, my name is Audra Osborne. I work with Richmond Fellowship Jamaica, Patricia Ose. As it relates to the Civil Society Forum that was held yesterday, that was on the 15th, at Red Cross. My reflection of the day, it was an interesting and productive day. It gives some hope that Civil Society Forum is alive, and what transpired yesterday has given us a renewed sense of hope and something that we have in place that we should try to capture and sustain the interest that is still there, because the turnout yesterday was very encouraging. So we need to capture that and to find ways of sustaining the interest so that the forum can grow from strength to strength and become a more formidable force within the policy making and other interests that looks at persons who are suffering from HIV/AIDS and other marginalized groups. So I think it was a good group. As I said before, I think it is something that should be enhanced, sustained, and continued.
Anna Broderick from Women for Women. We work with the lesbian, bisexual, and transgender women in Jamaica. We became a member of the civil society approximately 2 years ago. From what we've seen, there has been some very positive moves within civil society, more vocal, speaking to issues that affect women in general and the lesbian community as a whole. We believe that we are not a separate entity than civil society in many ways, because each of us have a different perspective, and that perspective allows dialogue, it allows new ideas to come in, and civil society has been doing that for us. We have made many connections, PAHO, Red Cross, Patricia House, Jamaica AIDS Support for Life, Women's Bureau of Women's Affairs, Women Inc., who we will be working with in the future. So as to the persons who are now on the committee, who as individual entities have great track records, Red Cross, PANOS, who's the other one now? I can't remember. E for Life, who were very instrumental in the Lyme, what should we call it? The Lyme Ayasonize promotion recall. I can see great things for civil society in the future. We just have to all put our shoulders to the grindstone and stand with our brothers and sisters to make it move forward.
Claudette Richardson Pius, Executive Director, Children First. I think that at this point we are going through a very important phase in our development, especially as it relates to the civil society grouping. We have at last come together, working together, making it happen, especially at this time with the reduction in support from Global Fund. We really need to see how collectively we can agree and advocate for support for Jamaica. As a nation, we're going through serious challenges in terms of supporting the people we work for. And the movement at this time is really about seeing how we can collectively position our stakeholders in a way that we can get more support for Jamaica. Especially as it relates to the Global Fund, it's really challenging times for us, and we're really appealing for support for Jamaica in ensuring that we can at least continue the services that we presently provide, as well as to reduce the numbers of cases of HIV.
Sanya Sutherland. I'm the Director of HIV Prevention with the National HIV Program of the Ministry of Health. The role of civil society in terms of the Global Fund project is to promote accountability and transparency. Civil society needs to be very involved in creating an enabling and supportive environment to partake in the national response to HIV. The Civil Society Forum can play a critical role in advocating around the issues of creating an enabling environment for our most at-risk populations, as well as support government in carrying out those functions effectively and efficiently. It has been difficult for government to take a lead role in terms of having a response to some of our key populations, in terms of articulating the legislative barriers and championing the response. And so civil society has a real role to play in ensuring that the HIV response also addresses the needs of our key populations who may have legal barriers to access to services of social protection, health, etc.
Dr. Pierre Somse, the UNAIDS country representative for Jamaica, Belize and the Bahamas. Very pleased and very satisfied of the development taking place within the Civil Society Forum. It was really a demonstration of very advanced maturity of the Civil Society Forum. What I saw was a very democratic approach, really demonstrating a high level of commitment involving all the major organizations. I am very confident that the Civil Society Forum has, by the way this election was organized, has moved now to a level of maturity that will allow us to make a difference.
Hi, my name is Stacey Ann Tomlinson. I'm from the Jamaica Red Cross. I'm the Programs Director for HIV and Youth. The Jamaica Red Cross was voted as the co-chair, I believe, of the Civil Society Forum, and we're super thrilled and happy, and we'll do whatever it takes to ensure that the objectives and the mandates of the Civil Society Forum are met. We have been supporting Civil Society Forum and hosting meetings since the inception, and we'll continue to do so for the upcoming years.
My name is Joy Crawford, and I'm the Director of Programs and Training for E4Life, an NGO that supports the work, the life, and the dreams of HIV-positive women and children in Jamaica. We are very excited to be a part of civil society, and we really endorse the Civil Society Forum. I believe that we are continuing on a path of resurgence, and I'm very encouraged that we could have been able to find an interim committee to hold the fort while we were able to make plans to secure the gains that were made at the start of the Civil Society Forum. I think two things stand out for me as far as the forum is concerned. It shows that there are a group of people in civil society who are committed to the HIV response, to all aspects of it, to treatment and care, to adherence, to advocacy, to community work, to capacity building. And I think the Civil Society Forum have been able to pull together these organizations. The other thing for me with this forum is that it's a good avenue for new NGOs, for persons who are not directly working in HIV but who have concerns around HIV, to come together and to acknowledge that the HIV response requires a developmental approach, a multi-sectoral approach, and a multifaceted approach. E4Life, as the newly nominated or voted co-chair of the Civil Society Forum, is committed to the forum, is committed to the mission, is committed to creating a space for greater advocacy, a space for greater growth and recognition, and in the long run, we are committed to playing our part in moving the forum forward to become even more recognizable body, not just here in Jamaica, but in the Caribbean as we set up the best practices.